Keep yourself in the loop of everything football. Listen to Alex and Jeremiah on the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast.
Hello there, I'm Jeremiah.
I am Alex, always and forever here.
Dedicated to college and NFL football. The latest football news on and off the field. NFL draft trade rumors. We've got you covered from the NFL, Big Ten, SEC, Big 12, Pac-12, ACC, and everything else in between. Listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast.
Thank you for tuning to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast, where we talk the latest news, rumors, and games of the NFL and college football, from the latest signings to this year's breakout stars and all of the news in between. As always, I'm Jeremiah.
Hey guys, I'm Alex.
Yeah, what's up?
What's going on?
Yeah. So how's life?
It's not bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were talking about the amount of shows we do every week with all of our respective podcasts, and we didn't realize there was so many.
I know, right?
9 a week for me and 6 a week for Jeremy.
Well, since the baseball show, yeah. Yeah, 6 a week.
I had you doubled. Practically, I did have you doubled.
Almost.
No, I did.
You did.
I'm saying I did at one point.
You did at one point. Yeah.
Because you were going for 8, I was hitting the 9.
Yeah, unless I happen to do, unless they sign me to do another show in the future, but I don't know. I'm just worried about baseball and football right now. But right now, I am worried about this show. Starting it off for today. So you want to let the good people know what we have on tap.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Arian Foster, former All-Pro Arian Foster, and whether or not we think he's going to play again in the NFL. Personally, I think he'll get picked up, but we'll get into that in a little while. Breakout candidates, so pretty much stars that we think are going to have a breakout year in the NFL this year, and then sophomore slumps, rookies that had a pretty solid year last year that might not play as well this upcoming season. So, like I said, we're going to start with Arian Foster, former Texans running back, current free agent. What you got, Jeremiah?
Yeah, he said he expects to be healthy for the training camp this year. But, there's no team that has shown interest besides, the taking a visit to the Miami Dolphins earlier.
Who they've just visited with every running back.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, man, he said he's hungry to regain his all-pro form in 2012. I don't see him becoming an every down back again because he's been injured so much for the 2 of the past 3 seasons, missed so many games. He's still, honestly though, he's still a useful piece to any team that wants to sign him. He just can't be, the number one back that he once was, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think he was ever honestly really a 3-down back, an every down back.
Well, this guy was a dual threat. He was one of the
best catch and run running backs
in the league. So,
But I don't think he's ever really been a 3-down guy. I'd be interested to see who picks him up, honestly. He does. He did say he's going to be healthy for the 2016 training camp. That's just the tricky thing is there's no training camp for him to be invited to as of right now.
Yeah.
So, what do you think he's going to get picked up? I think he'll get picked up.
No, I think he will get picked up, but I don't think he will be the number one guy on the depth chart at running back. I can see him becoming like a change of pace back, maybe not goal line back, but I just don't see him being like a starter unless injuries come into play.
Where do you have an idea of a place you think he might go? I have an idea of a place.
What's your idea of a place?
I think he would be suited for the Patriots.
Yeah, you know what? I can actually see that, yes.
I think he would do well with the Patriots. At least in my opinion.
I don't know if there's I don't have a team in place right now, actually. It's just... Actually, yeah. I don't think I have one right now.
Patriots, Colts... Dolphins could be one, but they have so many people in the Dolphins.
I don't know about Colts because they got Frank Gore over there.
I'm talking about what he's good at, and he's good at catching out of the backfield. I'm not talking about going and being the guy. I'm talking about somewhere he can go and be a role player.
I can't see the Colts taking, a shot at him because they got a guy that's older as their number one guy right now.
Exactly. So you have a guy who's older, who's already worn down. Get another guy who can.
Foster is just as worn down as Frank Gore.
Well, two worn down guys could still produce.
I don't like that combo.
I think they would be.
I don't know.
I think you have Frank Gore, who's more of a bruiser, and you have Arian Foster, who can catch and run out of the backfield.
Maybe I would like that. Maybe like 5 years ago. I don't like it this year.
No, I think it would be okay this year. I think. I mean, I don't think he's going to have the season that he wants to have. But I think with a quarterback like Andrew Luck, I think having a bruising running back like Frank Gore, who's clearly nearing the end of his career, and Foster, who knows if he even will for sure get picked up, could be near the end of his career, would be a great out of the backfield kind of guy. I also think a team like, I was going to say the Cardinals, but they don't need a out of the backfield guy.
Maybe the Rams being a backup to Todd Gurley there.
They have a backup to Todd Gurley.
Yeah, Trey Mason.
Trey Mason's there, and he can kind of he's fast. He can go out of the backfield. They don't need him there.
I don't see him going to Seattle because they got Rawls and they drafted 300 running backs in the draft.
Yeah, they don't know. They don't need him there.
I don't see him going to San Francisco. I
don't see anybody going to San Francisco.
No,
I'm not necessarily even saying the NFC West. I think the Patriots would be the best place for him personally. With the way they use.
They use players so well. They find ways to have their players successful. They find ways for them.
Yeah, they find ways to optimize their abilities. Even if you have guys who haven't produced hugely in their career, like Amendola, for instance, when he came over there, or Welker when he came over there. This year, Chris Hogan's heading over there from the Bills. There's ways they can do it. But I think the Patriots would be a place he could go. I still stand by the Colts. I still think that would be very interesting to do.
That's a legit argument that you made about the Colts.
I still think it'd be a very interesting thing to see.
I just don't see it happening.
Well, I don't. I mean, I struggle to, or not. I just don't struggle to. I try to avoid guessing in a sense, I suppose, as much as I can, because there's so much. Who knows if he even will get picked up? Who knows if he could wait? It could be like. Injury season, near October or November, and somebody will pick him up eventually around then. So,
I think his best shot right now is to go to a contending team that doesn't need a bell cow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying with the Colts is he doesn't. He's not going to obviously. They're split carries,
and they're easily a top 5 team with Andrew Luck on the field.
Exactly, on paper, and that's in the Patriots too. It's the veterans, of course, are going to want to go to a team where they can win. I mean, he's been to the playoffs a few times, but I don't even think Foster's. I think he's won one playoff game, maybe 2.
Yeah, he's been to a couple here. Yeah,
he's been to some. I'm saying winning.
Yeah, winning.
I think he's won 1 or 2.
Yeah. I know he got as far as the semifinals against the Patriots a couple years ago.
The divisional round?
I mean, the divisional round. Why did I say semifinals?
I don't know.
I got the NBA playoffs still in my head. That's why.
The NBA playoffs ended 3 days ago.
I know.
Get out of there.
Dude, the NBA playoffs were good. It would
have been a better excuse to say you have soccer on your brain.
I don't watch soccer.
Well, I have soccer on my brain. I didn't call it semifinals. You weirdo. I remember them playing the Bengals in back-to-back years, and I think they lost to them both times.
They did. And then
they played the Chiefs 1 year 2 and lost to them.
Yeah, the Texans have had a horrible run in the playoffs when they got there.
Well, a lot of times they came out of weaker divisions.
Yeah, that's
it wasn't like they were lighting it up win-wise, But nonetheless, I say he gets picked up this year. I don't know when, and I don't know who. But I think Arian Foster has a home this season. Hopefully he stays healthy.
I hope he stays healthy too. Because remember when he was healthy, from 2012, I believe. No,
that was his break. 2012 was one of his big years.
Yeah, and which was his last full season. He rushed for more than 1,400 yards, 15 touchdowns on the ground. That was an incredible year.
Yeah, 1424. That's from 1424 yard wise.
Yeah, and from
2010 to 12.
To 12, he had 47 total touchdowns.
I think you and I have the same article up.
Which one do you have up?
I'll talk about it later.
Okay.
But
we'll talk about during the break.
Yeah, but he was very productive. Like you said, at that time he was one of the best dual threat out of the backfield running backs in the league, right up there with when LaShawn McCoy was with the Eagles and Sproles was still at the Saints, and the way they were using him, and so definitely, I mean, he's 29. He's not even past that 30-year-old running back bridge. But then again, I believe his
but
he'll turn 30 during the season.
29 years old as a running back is practically like.
Yeah, he'll turn 30 in August.
It's kind of like being like 40 years old when you're a quarterback. It's the equivalent. It's close.
Well, of course, it's a different argument, but look at guys like Jerome Bettis or even right now Adrian Peterson. And of course, Adrian Peterson, it's hard to compare anybody to Adrian Peterson, but he's 30-something.
It's just like he's just a rare specimen. I don't know what it is with him. But yeah, going back to Arian Foster, he's only played 16 games twice in his career, so that only 2 years with a full slate of games.
I'm sorry, Adrian Peterson's 31.
Yeah.
So he just turned 31, so he's just roughly a year older than Foster. So stays healthy. Anything can happen, especially with a role where he's not the number one guy.
Yeah.
Can help him stay healthy.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we have what I'm looking forward to coming up, the breakout candidates. I'm excited for that one.
Yes.
So we're going to take a quick break here at the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast. Don't go anywhere, and Jeremiah and I will be right back.
Are you looking for help for your fantasy football team? Check out the GSMC Fantasy Football Podcast. Get today's best advice on who to start, who to sit, even who you should draft. From sleeper picks to red-hot lineups, they got it all covered for you. That's gsmcpodcast.com/fantasy-football-podcast. We'll cover traditional leagues, dynasty, PPR, even IDP leagues. When you need fantasy help, there's just one show to hit up. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit gsmcpodcast.com for more info.
Welcome back to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast. And now for our next segment, our never too early breakout candidates for the upcoming 2016 season. So yeah, you during the break, Alex, you said you have 4 names?
I have 4 names.
I have 5.
Okay.
Okay.
Would you like to start, or would you like me to start?
I'll start.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Get ready.
So what we're going to do, we're going to list them.
Yeah.
And then Jeremiah's going to list his.
We're going to do like a breakdown analyst on each.
Yeah, so he's going to list his, I'll list mine, and then we'll go back and make sure from that point if we both have, like say he has somebody I have, we'll talk about that person together. But he's going to list his, and then I'll list mine, and then we will discuss.
Okay, yeah.
Go ahead.
Number 5. I'm saying it from 5 to 1.
Okay.
Well, I think.
Oh, you have them. Oh, I just have them. Like I don't have them ranked or anything.
It's no particular
You just have
order.
okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. First on my list is David Johnson, running back for the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah. And number 4 on my list, Telvin Smith, linebacker of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay.
And next name on my list, number 3, Coney Ely.
Okay.
Yeah, defensive end of the Carolina Panthers. Second to last person on my list, Clyde Wolford, tight end for the Oakland Raiders.
Okay.
And for my ultimate breakout candidate, Jadeveon Clowney, outside linebacker for the Houston Texans.
All right. Wow.
Yeah.
That's quite the list.
Yeah. So what do you have?
Okay. So for breakout star, and of course I'm gonna. Don't look at me like, oh my God, this guy's already broken out, because I have explanation and reason behind this.
Yeah.
Allen Robinson. Okay. Receiver, Jaguars. Number 2. Well, again, second person on the list, Golden Tate, Lions receiver. Next, Ladarius Green, former Chargers, new Steelers tight end. And to keep it going with the tight ends, new Saints tight end, Colby Fleener.
Oh, Colby Fleener. I like that pick, yes.
So,
okay, I like
so
that.
I'm not overly surprised, but at the same time I am kind of surprised we don't have any of the same people.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I like it.
So we'll go back and forth.
All
you
right.
start with your first one, you explain it a little bit, and then come back to me and I'll explain mine.
All right, so David Johnson.
Yes.
Late last season, the Cardinals became a completely unstoppable when he was inserted as the number 1 back. He actually did good for my fantasy team last season too.
Okay.
So, and he's going to be the workhorse this season for the Cardinals. And he's easily a 3-down back, dual threat, catches, runs with ball with authority.
He runs like powerfully too.
Exactly,
like, he's
with
a powerful
authority.
runner.
And he easily might get 400 touches and eclipse 2,000 all-purpose yards. So, yeah, that's why I say he's going to be a breakout candidate, and he might possibly become a star in the league this season. So, yeah. So let's go to your first guy on the list.
Allen Robinson. Okay, so Allen Robinson obviously had a good year, 80 receptions, 1,400 yards.
I think he kind of broke out already.
14 touchdowns, exactly. But what I think and what I'm saying is he's going to have, I think, 14 yards, like I said, 1,400 yards. Like, he did have a very good season. But what I mean by this is that he tied for, 14's tied for best of receivers' touchdowns this year. But I think this year was just the start of what he's going to do. I think next year he's going to break out as one of the best receivers in the game. I think he's going to have, the best to-date year of his career. He's only gotten better every year. So that leads me to say that I think he's just going to break out even harder next year when they have, a team that can get him the ball with short field. If this defense starts, panning out like it's written on paper, it's going to be. The quarterback's just getting better. Allen Hurns is demanding, more looks on the other side, so it's not going to be double coverage all day on Allen Robinson. So I think it's just setting him up for even more of a breakout is what I mean. I think he had a good year. I think he's going to have even better of a year next year.
Oh, okay. I can see that. Okay.
Next.
Good analysis there. All right.
Thank you. Next for you.
Yeah. I had Telvin Smith of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay.
He's actually been a beast ever since he was started first 2 years.
Yeah, he's very good.
Yeah, 100-plus tackles each first 2 seasons. He had 128 last year. More people will watch Jaguars games this season.
Oh, I was literally just watching something on Allen Robinson while I was doing this. I was like, I want to watch some more Jaguars games this year.
Yeah. So people are going to watch him a lot more after the offseason they had, and they're going to be fun to watch as well. So more people will know who he is. He's only 25 years old.
Yeah,
and
he's young and he's fast, too.
Exactly, and I think he can possibly immerse himself as a top 10, top 5 linebackers in this league.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I almost went linebacker. I didn't realize I didn't have any defensive players on here, which is okay. I'll get to. I can always mention some. I almost went linebacker with Ryan Shazier when healthy. That guy's a monster, obviously. But I for whatever reason, I like offense. I love offense, so came to mind. But I'm going to go next with Golden Tate. So Golden Tate, as everybody knows, receiver for the Lions last year, had a pretty good year. 813 yards on 90 receptions. He played all 16 games, which he does pretty often. He's only missed one game 1 year and 5 games the next year, and that was his rookie year. He didn't start all of them, But he had 6 touchdowns. I'm sorry. Yeah, 6. I look like an 8 for a second. With Calvin Johnson recently retired, I think that this is going to open up. Obviously, they got Will Fuller in the draft this year. I think it's going to open up for him to be the number 1 guy there. For them. And Stafford has a knack at finding Golden Tate, too. I thought it was just going to be another one of those scenarios. Everybody's like, it's going to be, Megatron, and, they finally bring another receiver, and he's not going to amount to anything. I think Golden Tate had a very good career so far with the Lions. His first year, especially, 99 receptions, 1,331 yards, and less touchdowns because obviously a lot of the touchdowns for every year Megatron was there were kind of eaten up by him. But I think now that he's the guy, I guess you could say, with a younger receiver coming in, has to still learn to produce in the league. I think Golden Tate's just going to have a monster year this year.
Okay, I can see that. For the next person on my list, I had Coney Ealy, defensive end of the Carolina Panthers. Mm-hmm. He did really well in the Super Bowl this year.
He had a pick. It got thrown right to him. There's not much you had to do there. It's not like he, dove, caught it with one hand, all that, ran it back 5 yards. He literally Peyton threw it to him.
Yeah, but still, he had a heck of a game.
He did.
That
he
night,
had a very good game.
He played behind Jared Allen, and with Jared Allen leaving, the Panthers also didn't select a defensive end this round, so he's pretty much
the draft.
Yeah, in the draft. They're pretty much inserting him as the number 1 guy, and
he plays like it.
And he's been in the league for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
He had 5 sacks last year in a limited role, and with increased playing time, increase in numbers, and that's why I think he's going to be a breakout candidate for this Carolina Panthers defense. Yeah,
I like that. And sorry, I meant to mention also the Lions just signed Andre Roberts too.
Did they?
So
okay.
And Bolden's supposed to visit. So again, still think Golden Tate could be the guy there. Okay, moving on to Kobe Fleener. All right, obviously played all of his years with Andrew Luck there in Indianapolis and at Stanford. Last year having, kind of what his normal. He had a down year from the year prior. Let's put it that way. But he had 54 receptions. 491 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns. he didn't. He kind of disappeared last year, And I always thought, too, that even when the offense was struggling, Luck could find Fleener. And then, obviously Luck missed a lot of games last year. I think that Fleener has a lot of attributes that made Jimmy Graham so successful in Carolina. I'm sorry, not Carolina, in New Orleans. And I'm not saying that he's just going to come in and be Jimmy Graham, and I'm not saying he is Jimmy Graham or is as good as Jimmy Graham, but I think that he's a very good receiving tight end. He's a big threat. He's a big goal line guy. I think that Drew can come in and use him the same way, in the same kind of, format as he used Jimmy Graham. And Benjamin Watson played well last year. I remember he had this really sick touchdown catch last year that they ended up calling back because he had dove for the pylon kind of deal. And he played serviceably, but I think a guy like Fleener can really probably open up the passing game for somebody who had, a team that had production from a guy like Willie Snead, late in the year. They have they still had Colston, who produced decently last year. Brandon Cooks, who is on and off, but when he's on, he's going strong. They're gonna have to they stretch the field, and then I feel like Fleener can really open it up in the middle there. So I think he's gonna have a nice year there.
I like that pick. I really like that. Yeah, I totally forgot about Kobe Fleener.
Just wait till my next one, man.
Okay, and then
on to you.
Yeah, tight end. Clyde Wolford of the Oakland Raiders. Yeah, he had 51 targets last year.
Didn't he get hurt recently?
I'm about to get into that. Yeah, if he's ready to go after that ATV accident.
Yeah, ATV accident.
This offseason.
Poor fella.
Yeah. Once he's ready to go, the Raiders have themselves, I think, a complete tight end, honestly. Remember, he's entering his second season.
Mm-hmm. I'd have to look at more what his blocking prowess.
He actually came in as a blocking tight end and developed as a pass catching.
Mm-hmm. Played at Miami, yes.
Exactly. Yeah, U. Exactly. Yeah, and he should be getting a much bigger role with the offense that's supposed to be much improved.
Yeah, they're another team I'm kind of probably going to watch a little bit more of this year, along with the Jaguars.
So if they take that big step, so Wolford will be part of that process as well. So
okay,
yeah,
all right.
And you don't have no more names, huh?
I have one more. My last one. Sticking with the tight end.
Oh yeah, okay.
Ladarius Green, former Chargers, newly signed Pittsburgh Steelers. He was born in Germany.
I did not.
That makes me like him even more. He's already a Steeler, but my father's full German, that makes me pretty stoked. Okay, so Ladarius Green obviously last year had a great start to the year. I'll pull up his game stats real quick, but he had in 5 games 4 touchdowns. He had an amazing year with the Chargers, and then at least an amazing start, and then Antonio Gates came back. Which, makes sense. He's the starter there. But he got hurt. He battled some injuries. He hurt his ankle. But he ended the year with 429 yards and 4 touchdowns. Didn't score again after Gates came back. But I think coming into an offense like the Steelers' offense, where you have one of the best quarterbacks in the league, you have arguably the best receiver in the league, you have, when he's healthy, the best dual threat running back in the league. I think there's so much you have to monitor. You have a guy like Marcus Wheaton, who, on the Seahawks last year put up 209 yards receiving. And the Seahawks are a great defense. I think there's so much you have to account for. You saw how well Heath Miller played in that role, and Ladarius Green is just as tall. Actually, he's 1 inch taller. He's just as big. He's, no offense to Heath, I love Heath Miller. He's probably a better pass catcher than Heath. He's more of an athletic tight end. I would say that he can have a really good breakout year coming up.
Yeah, I agree. I can totally see Ladarius Green being a very important part in the Steelers offense this coming year.
And yes, so sorry, real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games he had 4 touchdowns.
Oh, okay. All right. And for the last person on my list, Jadeveon Clowney. Yeah, I told you during the break you're going to hate this pick.
Oh, man. And I don't hate it. I'm just kind of like, how many years can he be the breakout star?
I'm telling you, he's only 23 years old. Come on, he's still young enough to have a good year. You kidding me? He's fully healthy now. Even though he played 17 games in 2 seasons, a healthy Clowney could transform Houston's defense to among like a top 3, top 5.
You're not wrong, but I mean, it's just can he stay healthy?
I'm telling you right now, this is a make or break year for him. I know you disagree with that, and when we talked about Clowney in the past episode, yeah, man.
I agree. This is a make or break year.
Yeah, so this is remember, he's a former number 1 pick, and if he doesn't perform well this year,
he's out of here.
I think he's done. But yeah, this is the year when I think he's going to finally break out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. I like your list.
All right. I like your list too.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
We got to take one more quick break here, and then we're going to get into our sophomore slumps. Go ahead.
Before we get to break, I had a couple honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions? Come on, man.
I had 2. Don't worry, I'm not going to go.
Give them to me real quick.
Depth and depth. Okay, Tyler Lockett, receiver for the Seattle Seahawks, and T.J. Yeldon for the Jaguars.
It's funny. I almost had both of them on my sophomore
I almost
slump
did.
list.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying on my list. Sophomore slump list.
Yeah.
So, and funny enough, we'll get into it in a second. I'll give you a little tease. I have one of your breakout stars on my slump list.
Oh, do you?
Yep.
All right.
So we'll take a quick break here at the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
All right, and we're back here at the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast with our last segment of the day, Sophomore Slumps.
Yes.
So I have 3.
Yeah, I have 5 again.
So back and forth, back and forth?
Yeah.
I'll start this time?
Yeah, you start this time.
Okay. Jameis Winston.
Okay.
So, you want me to
name the other 2.
Okay, Jameis, no, we'll go back and forth.
Okay,
yeah, that's fine. We'll keep doing
it's
that.
Funny. I actually have Jameis Winston as my number 5 candidate.
Cool. So you and I will talk about that together.
All right. Yes.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
So name one that's not Jameis.
Okay. Marcus Mariota.
I have Mariota as my number 2. So we'll talk to that together.
Okay. Then I'll go to my number 3 guy.
Okay.
Stephon Diggs.
Okay.
Receiver of the Minnesota Vikings.
Okay. My number 3, David Johnson.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. I want to hear more about this.
All right. I'll be happy to tell you.
All right. And I have Thomas Rawls.
I almost put Thomas Rawls down.
You did? Okay. Thomas Rawls.
But I opted for David Johnson instead.
Running back for the Seattle Seahawks.
Okay.
And what's your final?
I had 3, remember?
Oh, so that's your list. Okay.
Yeah.
My number 1 guy. You're gonna be real surprised about this. Amari Cooper.
I looked at some of that. I think people are judging his drops a little too heavy, but we get into that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk Jameis Winston.
Yeah,
Jameis Winston,
talk about him.
22 touchdowns, 15 picks, 4,042 yards. I think it can kind of go either way with Jameis, but I didn't see enough last year to really show me. I don't know if he's going to progress to the next year. I still don't think there's a huge team around him there in Tampa Bay, so I think there's going to be some times where he struggles. I mean, they only won. Let's look at their total wins.
I think they won 6 games.
I'll say something like that. Let's take a look real quick.
At one point, they were 6-6.
Yes.
Yeah, at one point. They looked like a playoff team at one point in the season. They had a huge drop-off late in the year.
Yeah, 6 games. They were 6-10.
I agree. He could be in for a really bad year because when he's bad, he's really bad. And when he's good, he's good.
I mean, yeah, sure.
So to me, there's really no in between. That even goes back to his college days as well. Because remember how badly he performed in his final college game against Oregon when he had that
wind fumble.
That wind fumble, yeah. It became a huge meme the next day. But yeah, and not only that, he has a lot of.
He fumbles the ball a lot.
Yeah, he fumbles a lot. 18 turnovers total, and he's in the division with a lot of good quarterbacks as well. Don't forget about that.
Yeah, he is in the division with Drew Brees, with Cam Newton, with Matt Ryan.
Yes. So he's the worst quarterback in that division.
Well, I mean, those are three good quarterbacks.
Exactly.
The reigning MVP.
Yeah.
Drew Brees, I don't think he's won an MVP, I'm pretty sure, but he definitely has played like an MVP. Matt Ryan has always played well in his career for the most part.
He's been
regardless of what those Falcons teams
He's been fridging on like elite stats for the past couple of years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree. Jameis Winston, I think he's in for a bad year.
Okay, man.
Yeah.
I like the pick.
Yeah.
Okay,
All
now
right.
let's do one of yours, and then we'll get to Mariota next.
Oh, yeah, Stephon Diggs
Okay.
is the one that you don't have. The reason why I put him on this list.
Well, you and I only share two.
Well, yeah, okay. The reason why he's on this list, some say he had a breakout year last year as a rookie. 52 receptions, 720 yards,
Okay.
4 touchdowns. The thing is, though, he was in a 31st ranked passing offense
Yes.
with Teddy Bridgewater. Not only that, the Vikings selected Laquan Treadwell in the first round this year to be their number one guy. So his 84 targets, I see that as being a potential drop-off. Don't get me wrong, he's still a good player for that team. If Teddy Bridgewater happens to progress, then his numbers can go up. But I haven't seen enough from Teddy yet to say that he's nothing more than a game manager right now.
And us saying that they're going to be sleepers doesn't mean they're going to have. I mean, not sleepers. I'm sorry, slumps. Sophomore slumps doesn't mean they're going to have bad years. It means they can have bad years, but they can also just have a drop in production.
Yeah.
He can go from like you said, if Bridgewater, struggles to get the ball around, in terms of
That's been a problem
receptions.
for him.
Then he can lack stats. So
Yeah. So that's why he's on this list. And now we get to Mariota.
all right, so Marcus Mariota, obviously, the number 2 overall pick last year, right behind Jameis. 19 touchdowns, 10 picks, 28-18 in yardage. 2008-18 there. He had a decent year last year. He dealt with a lot of injuries, notably to his knee.
Yes.
And he fumbled the ball also he fumbled it 10 times.
Yeah.
Lost 6 of them. That's even more than
10
Jameis.
interceptions.
Yeah, and added to your 10 interceptions, you got 16 turnovers there. That's
a lot.
You can't do that as a quarterback.
No.
And so I think also the Titans, they still have a makeshift line there.
Yes.
It didn't get much better. They got a draft pick. They got 2 early draft picks back-to-back years, but it's still a young line. It's still learning to be, that cohesive front together. I think there's still not much of a team around him. I think it's going to be hard for him to do it all on his own.
Yeah, and don't forget about that offensive line. He was sacked 38 times in 12 games.
Yeah.
And not only
for a total of 258 yards.
And that was a huge problem for their offense last year. Even though they have DeMarco Murray and Derrick Henry to be the complement to Mariota, I don't see them running the run option effectively.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he did have 252 yards rushing.
He did, but
2 touchdowns. A lot of that, one of those touchdowns coming on a very long run.
Yeah, I know, but I think since he has a year under his belt, people are going to watch him on film to figure out how to defend him a little bit. So I
say he does better than Winston.
Definitely. Oh yeah, I see him doing a lot better than Winston. I think he might win a couple more games than Winston because they have I think the Titans have a better defense than the Buccaneers have right now.
Yeah, they're pretty close.
They're pretty, So, I can see that. He's definitely going to he's going to put a lot more higher numbers than he did last year.
Yeah.
And
well, again, he also got hurt last year.
That too. So, if he plays a full slate of games, then, he can potentially be in for a good year stats-wise. But, his team drop-off, I can definitely see that. Yeah.
Okay. Now, your next pick.
Yeah, Thomas Rawls. Yeah.
We got back-to-back running backs.
Back-to-back running backs.
I'm gonna do mine after yours.
Yeah, back-to-back like Drake.
Just go ahead. Okay. Just give me your news on Rawls.
All right. He turned heads last season. Filling in for Marshawn Lynch, who is now retired. 830 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns, and had 5.6 yards to carry. Remember, no one knew about this guy before last year.
Yeah.
No one knew about him in college either. He was just one of those under the radar players. He suffered a ankle injury late last season that sidelined him, including the playoffs. And the reason why he made this list is because Seahawks selected 3 running backs in the draft this year. And I think that kind of makes his starting job a little bit insecure, a little bit.
Okay.
Especially with him recovering from an ankle injury. So, yeah, he's going to have some competition at that spot. And if he doesn't perform well enough to start the season, because he should be ready by week 1. If he doesn't perform well enough, then I think his job is in jeopardy there.
All right. Yeah. Okay. I got you. Moving on to another running back, David Johnson. So you had him on your breakout stars. I have him on my slumps.
Okay. Tell me why.
So he rushed for 581 yards and 8 touchdowns in a total of 16 games, but only 5 starts. I think that the Cardinals might take a little bit of a step back this year.
Do you?
I think a lot of their pieces are getting older, unfortunately. And namingly, the other running back there, Chris Johnson, he's going to be the one that has to break David Johnson, give him those reps off. And I mean, he got hurt once last year. I like David Johnson. I like the way he runs. Just something about the way I saw him play last year kind of seems like he's not going to be able to. It seemed like it was a lot of. They didn't know him. You know what I mean? And so I think that a lot of teams are going to learn that running style a little better and be able to defend it a little better.
Yeah, they got him on film for a full year now. So, I can definitely see that. I don't think he's going to slump. I don't see the Cardinals having a drop off a little bit. I still think they're.
I just mean a little bit of a drop off.
Yeah, I still think they're one of the elite teams in the NFC.
I do too.
Yeah, so I understand your viewpoint. It's just I don't agree with it. Okay,
fair enough.
Okay,
fair enough.
Moving on to Amari Cooper. Yeah, I know this might be surprising to some people because he had a heck of a career. Remember, because this is a guy that was a 1,000-yard receiver for Oakland. The first since 2002 when George W. Bush was in the White House. So that was a long time. And he had issues with drops last year. Only caught 55% of targets from Derek Carr, despite his good numbers. From weeks 10 to 17, he only scored 2 touchdowns, topped 100 yards twice during the stretch, and he led the league with 18 drops at one point. So maybe that slump from late last year could possibly translate to the beginning of the year.
I think a lot of it was the rookie wall with him.
That too, yeah.
And you guys try to say it doesn't affect him. You see it so often.
Yeah.
So I think I thought about it. I read an article on Amari, and somebody had the same opinion. I thought about it, and I couldn't bring myself to think he's going to do worse. I think he's going to do better next year.
Well, not only that, they got Michael Crabtree as well.
Yeah, they had him last year,
had a lot of targets. Yeah, exactly. And then they got Clyde Wolford, who I think
him last year, too.
I think it's going to be a little more of a role this year in the offense, so yeah. But don't get me wrong.
I think Amari's going to do better.
But yeah, don't get me wrong, though. Amari Cooper's a talent in this league. He played easily like a top 10 receiver last year.
At times, yeah.
Yeah, at times, yeah. So don't get me wrong. I think there's potential for a slump there.
I think he'll do better. Yeah. And as you said it perfectly a second ago, I just don't agree with you.
Okay.
Do you have one more?
The shade. Okay.
Do you have one more?
I do not. I'm done.
All right.
I'm done. I'm done with you. I'm kidding.
Well, that was fun. It's our longest episode to date.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was fun doing this. I really like this. We should do this more often.
Well, guess what, guys? Next episode, we're going to cover our MVP favorites and comeback players of the year favorites.
Yes.
So
looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We're going to be back. As always, you can find us at the Golden State Media Concepts Facebook page, the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at GSMC_football. You can find us on our website at GSMCpodcast.com with all the wonderful shows on our network. And you can contact us, or we'll see your tweets if you use hashtag GSMC Podcast Network. As always, I am Alex.
And I'm Jeremiah.
And we want to say thank you for joining us, and we will see you guys next time.